The Joe Rogan Experience.
Don't want to hear the truth about it. We did one about trophy hunting animals, about how, because people get so mad. Oh, look at this guy shot a lion, right? And the truth is that in some countries, not 100% of the time, but in some countries, they are effectively using trophy hunting as a way to protect the animals, because that's how they're able to sort of like monetize in that place, and get money coming in order to protect the animals, and they're very specific and strategic about it, and it can be part of a good sort of animal management strategy, and it's being used to some success. And yeah, people don't want to hear that, right? It's still really hard.
That's a weird one to me, and I hunt.
Yeah.
That the whole lion and elephant thing, like,
right.
Ooh, that's a weird one.
Well, what they can do is they can say, okay, well, we've got these elephants. One of these elephants is an old male that's like killing the other elephants, right? And if we organize these hunts where you got to pay $500,000 for the right to even go in there,
does that happen with old male elephants? I know that was the issue with that giraffe. Remember that woman that got in trouble?
I actually don't know that specific case.
Yeah, there was a woman who got in trouble because she shot this really beautiful giraffe. It was really dark and unusually colored, and it was dark because it was very old. The older the giraffe, apparently the males get really dark. It was really cool looking. But she shot it, and everybody went crazy on the internet because she was posing and smiling with this dead giraffe. But apparently that giraffe had to be killed because it had killed at least 2, maybe 3 young males, and it was no longer of a viable breeding age. So they were in this situation where they didn't have the money to take it and bring it to a zoo somewhere. Yeah. And they would have gotten money from having this woman come in and shoot it. And so that's what they did.
Yeah, that's sort of the idea, I mean, one of the issues is if you've got an area where, one of the problems is you need to have a reason for the people who live in the place to care about the animals. You know what I mean? If it's just like, hey, the elephants are going to roam free. Well, you've got people there who are like, all right, fine. So I'm living near some elephants. Occasionally they eat my crops and shit, and that annoys me. I don't really give
occasionally.
Yeah, exactly. I don't give a shit about that. And what that allows to happen is allows poachers to come in and kill them wantonly, right? But if instead, okay, we're protecting them, we have a revenue stream, right? We get money when, hunters come in and pay a lot of money to go kill one animal, right? Now we've got a way to hire guards. We've got a way. This is now a resource that we're protecting, right? And that sounds a little cynical, but it is working in some places. And
it's both. It's cynical and effective.
And we have we had a woman on from the IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, big conservation group, talking about how this is effective. Now, in some places, if you've got a corrupt government where they're just going to pocket the money, yeah, that's bad, right? But the point is, just because the mere idea of someone going overseas and killing an animal is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. We have to look at the details of the situation, and that's hard for animal lovers to hear. Animal lovers don't like to hear that.
They don't. And like I said, I don't like to hear it. I wish
I don't like to hear it either.
Yeah, I wish people would just. What freaks me out more than anything is that there's no other options. It's not like a bunch of people are donating a bunch of money to keep these areas clean and free of poachers, and
the amount would be massive, right? We can donate
so much money,
but that's the when you've got a problem that big and intractable as how do you save these animals, and against habitat encroachment, right? Again, people want to farm on that land. People have lives, right? They're not sitting around going. The people in those countries are not sitting around going, "Oh, I love the cute elephant," like we have the luxury to do. They like fucking live there, right? And so how do you get those people in that society to really protect those animals? That's a hard question to answer. And some places are having success with that strategy. And that's something that we can understand. We don't have to approve of it in every single case. And we can say, that's really tough for us as animal lovers. And in fact, the character who I'm talking to on the show says, I still just hate the idea of an animal being killed, right? And I say, yeah, so do I, right? We try to dramatize that emotional, resistance on the show, like that emotional reaction that we have. Yeah, I also don't like the idea of an animal being killed brutally. I think I'm uncomfortable with the idea, right? But if my main goal is to preserve the population of these animals overall to stop them from going extinct, maybe I need to accept that this tough truth that once in a while, one's got to be shot through the head with a rifle. Maybe I need to accept that.
It's weird, right?
That's what our show's about.
It's really weird when it comes to things that people don't eat, like lions and stuff. I
don't understand the psychology.
If you're like Michael Douglas in what was that movie with Val Kilmer? The Ghost in the Darkness. The lions that decided to kill those dudes that are
I've
working
never
the
heard of
railroad.
this movie.
Oh, it's a great movie, man. It's a great movie.
The Ghost in the Darkness.
Yeah, I feel like it's from the 90s,
Yeah.
but it's a really good movie about a true story about this guy that they brought. They brought this Michael Douglas character was brought in to hunt these lions that were systematically targeting and killing these workers that worked on this railroad. This team of lions worked together and started eating people.
Wow.
It's a great movie.
And
It's really good.
That sounds awesome. And they have to go after the lions.
Yeah, they have to go kill these lions. Yeah, there it is. Ghost in the Darkness.
Oh, holy crap.
Nail-biting tension.
That is
Prey
a
for
great.
the hunters.
Val Kilmer is looking good there.
Yeah, that was pre-Fatso Val Kilmer. Pre when he went off the. It was too
Good-looking
handsome. He
guy.
couldn't handle it anymore. He had
Really
to,
good looking guy.
Too handsome. That's the problem. He had to just go off the deep end.